Greetings, Pilgrims. It's Will from StormTheCastle.com, and this is episode 32 of my European pilgrimage videos. And I call this one 6 weeks in a day, finishing the pilgrimage, something like that. And in this video, we arrive at our destination in Santiago de Compostela. And you know, it's funny, psychologically, I've been kind of putting off making this video because I don't want it to end. It's strange. And I kind of felt that too during the pilgrimage, as the pilgrimage was nearing an end. But let me say this. This isn't actually the end of my series on European pilgrimage series, because I bought my round-trip plane tickets to Rome ahead of time, and I used frequent flyer miles. So it actually cost me $80, which was kind of nice. I used up most of my frequent flyer miles to book that, but I had to book the round trip and everything. So I booked it with plenty of time. After I arrived at Santiago and finished the pilgrimage, I still had 10 days left. And my intention was to go to Pamplona and see the running of the bulls. I timed it all out. I couldn't get there, so I didn't see it. But I ended up returning to Rome and spending 8 more days in Rome, which was really remarkable. I love those 8 extra days I spent in Rome. And I will do, what I'm saying is, I've got some more videos of my European pilgrimage coming, even though in this one, I finish the pilgrimage and arrive at the cathedral in Santiago de Compostela. So that's it. 6 weeks in a day. That's how long I walked the pilgrimage, the 500 miles. And, I used to say 43 days, but saying 6 weeks and a day really makes an impact. So that's why I kind of chose that title. I mean, think about it. I walked every day, never took a day off, and I averaged 12 miles a day for the whole excursion, for the whole pilgrimage. And, I had a couple of 7-8 mile days and had a couple of 17, 18 mile days, but I just plodded along at my pace. I had a lot of challenges, terrain and weather and different things, finding things and resources, water and whatnot. But, overall, I'm very proud of the fact that I made it. And I wouldn't do it again. I think people ask me that a lot, but I really wouldn't. It's interesting. Those 6 weeks in a day, if you do the math, it comes out to 1,032 hours. That's 1,000 hours of my life I spent as a pilgrim on the road in Spain. And I have to say, it's quite a remarkable stage of my life, very memorable. I've put together a photo album, and I have these videos and pictures, and it was a wonderful experience for me, just so special and different. And for a while, when I gathered together with friends and family, I'd talk about it. And after a while, they were like, I could tell they were starting to get tired of me talking about the pilgrimage, but which is understandable. They were curious and interested for a while, but and this is how deep, and I think only a person who walks the pilgrimage can understand how deep of an impression it makes on you and on your life and on who you are as a person. So let me talk a little bit about it. I think, I did find the inspiration came to me to write a book, and the book is complete, and I'm trying to find a publisher. I'll keep you updated on that. But, the mystery of everything in life and all of that, and one thing I want to point out is this pilgrimage was very strangely bookended. On the very first day, getting up and over the Pyrenees, if you follow along, you know this, was completely covered in fog. And you've seen pictures, and when editing this video, I'll try to pop in a picture or two. It was like entering a dream. Isn't that strange? And now that it's a year behind me, it somewhat feels like a dream. And what I mean by bookending is, on the last couple of days, you travel through a eucalyptus forest to get to your final destination. And it's kind of alien, I've never been in a eucalyptus forest, never even seen a eucalyptus tree, I don't think. And it's the strangest of the forest, the strangest of the trees, but more importantly, it's the smell of eucalyptus. So there's this otherworldly, the whole pilgrimage ends up to be this otherworldly kind of experience where you, for me anyway, that I started out in fog on day one, and I ended up the last couple of days traveling through this mysterious eucalyptus forest. It's almost like the movie Excalibur, you know. It's like a mystical adventure. So let me tell you a little bit about the pilgrimage before we get to the end. I didn't see a whole lot of pilgrims along the way. Here and there, I see some pilgrims. In a couple of big cities, I saw quite a few pilgrims, 30, 40, something like that. And but I stayed in inns by myself sometimes, or with one or two or three or four other pilgrims. You know, it's interesting. It doesn't seem to be as crowded as they advertise it to be. I don't know, but maybe it was because I went off season. I started in late May, walked the whole month of June, and then ended in early July. And that might be a little bit of the off season, although I think July and August is the off season because it's really hot in Spain. So, you know, maybe a lot more pilgrims will be walking in March and April, and then September, October. Well, anyway, the last 100 kilometers of the pilgrimage. Now, when you walk the 500 kilometers, actually, when you walk the 500 kilometers, or 500 miles, 800 kilometers, you get a stamp every day in your passbook, and then when you finally arrive at the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela, you are entitled, you show your little booklet with all your stamps in it to say you walk daily and you have a whole pilgrimage, and you get a certificate of completion, a couple of them, you know, to prove that you're a pilgrim and that you accomplished it. And I'm proud of my certificates. And they have, but actually Spain has another shorter pilgrimage right along here. I think it starts around Sarria, where we start today in this video, of 100 kilometers, and you can still get a pilgrimage certificate. You walk the 100 kilometers on the way of St. James to Santiago, you get a certificate, and you prove it. You do the same thing. You keep track of your stamps, and you get a stamp every day. But an interesting thing is that the Spanish colleges, maybe the high schools too, I'm not sure, have summer programs where they can get school credit for walking the pilgrimage. So in the last few days, I did see a lot of college students in large groups, 30, 40, 50, walking the pilgrimage as a summer program, getting with teachers, getting their certificate and their college credit, which was kind of nice. And the reason why I'm telling you this is now we can arrive at the cathedral. So it's my last day. It's late afternoon, and I get to the city of Santiago, and then you have to walk across pretty much the whole city to get to the cathedral. And you pass through a stone through a stone tunnel where bagpipes are playing, and that's kind of magical. And arrive at the cathedral, and you've finished your pilgrimage. It's done. After a little over 6 weeks and a day of walking, it all comes to an end. And then you stop in the pilgrim's office, and you get your certificate, and you get your verification and whatnot. Register, let them know that you made it. And so what did I feel? I actually spent an extra day in Santiago. That day I arrived, that evening I got something to eat. I found a Pilgrim's Inn, and then I stayed the next day too. I didn't really feel that much. I'm sitting in the big courtyard in front of the cathedral, you know, looking around and watching people and seeing other pilgrims come walking in. And I was like, well, it's done. I feel good. I've accomplished it. I'm proud of the fact that I overcame a lot, and I trained for a long time to get ready for it. And it all paid off in that I fully 100% accomplished the mission I wanted to accomplish. And I felt good about that. But I really didn't feel a whole lot of, other than, you know, fatigue, sore feet, which was something you get used to. You get used to being tired, and you get used to having sore feet. And you get used to seeking out shade in the heat. So I'm sitting there thinking, all right, well, you know, and this group of college students, maybe there was a lot of them, it was a big group, it had to be at least 100. I'll show you video. I have video. Come walking through the tunnel And as they passed through the tunnel, they all started cheering with joy, because for them it was 4 or 5 days of pilgrimage, a big deal for them. And the joy they felt just threw itself right at me. And I felt an overwhelming burst of joy, and tears came to my eyes. Just simple as that. And not so much for me, I guess somewhat for me, but for them, you know. And I think that's an important thing, an important lesson I learned, and this is a strong theme in the book, is, you know, that we're all pilgrims on this path together.
Well, that's it, the Cathedral of Santiago. We made it, 500 miles, 43 days, I think. Hey! Hey, look at that, it's a group of students. Wow, that's a big group of students. We made it.